Hey, we're back. Welcome back to Reform Fitness Television. We're back live in the studio. This is Act 2. And this segment we just want to talk about our journey with the SuperJuiced Me Fast. And as we talked about in the previous recording on how we actually got here. And so as I was listening to the Jesus Fast, I was also listening to Jason Vale on www.superjuiceme.com. I watched the 28-day documentary, 8 people, 22 different diseases between them, on nothing but fresh fruit and vegetable juice for 28 days. We literally saw their transformation 28 days on nothing but juice, and it was absolutely powerful and astounding. I know some of you already watched the documentary. If you have not, please just carve out some time to watch that documentary. I guarantee you it would absolutely bless you. But on a personal note, so we went on, I came home, I was really excited after watching the documentary. I knew it was important for me to share that information with my wife, and so I sat down with my wife and we watched the documentary, and it was from that point we decided, listen, we got to do this, for more than just losing weight, but there's everything in connection with God using us in this last great awakening in America, and being positioned for God to do great things in us. We know that we need to participate in extended fasting, and so this was a creative way for us to accomplish that. And so I had a juicer, as I said before, and we began the journey. And I'm telling you, this journey has been amazing. We've gone through all the different things, and we're going to be very, very honest with you guys. I mean, it was rough. It was a struggle at first. Understanding the juices and the roles that they play, and the benefits that they provide. The experience taught us discipline. When you're living and eating fully raw, your behavior has to change. There has to be a certain level of discipline that you have to begin to develop, because live foods are not made to be stored. And so we realized early on that in purchasing the products, that it was going to be important for us to make sure that we made our juices every night and prepared them to be consumed the very next day, so that we could get the maximum benefit. And I'm telling you, after a while making all of them juices, man, sometimes I'd be up to 11 and 12 o'clock making juices for us. And but that's where the discipline was being built, and the sacrifice. It made us conscious of every moment that we couldn't waste being idle. So it kept us focused on making sure that our preparation was in place every day, and drinking those juices every day. But I knew that it was from God. I knew it was something that we needed to do, so that not only as we are participating with God in fasting and praying, that we might be positioned for the presence and power of God, but also so that our bodies could be changed on a cellular level. And that's one of the things that we learned from Dr. Savy and Jason Vale, is that drinking raw, pure vegetable and fruit juice impacts your body on a cellular level. So we begin to look at the things that we were doing up until this point. We tried the smoothies, and we, as you all can see, we exercise regularly. We're a pretty active couple. And so we run and we exercise, we go to the gym, we eat right. What was the issue? And one of the things that we realized is that although we were changing our behavior, we weren't doing anything to get rid of the things that we have done that's been stored on the inside of us, to purge it out of us, and to make we weren't making any changes on a cellular level. And so we realized that through this raw eating and through juicing, that we were able to consume high quality nutrition at a concentrated rate, hitting our bloodstream, bypassing the digestive system, allowing it the nutrition, the nutrients, the enzymes to hit our bloodstream and begin to work immediately and change our body on a cellular level. And so many things begin to happen other than just losing weight, re-energizing and cells to perform like they need to, and re-energizing organs and blood and tissue, all of that being repaired through this process so that the body can return back to its original form. Because we realize that the body has been created to heal itself, provided that we give it the things that it needs. And so through this process, as we cross the threshold of the 28th day, I lost 30 pounds in the 28 days. And then 3 weeks after, I lost another 6 pounds. I'm talking about after I had added, some solid foods. I lost an additional 6 pounds. So, and I was super excited about it. So a total of 36 pounds lost overall doing the SuperJuiced Me fast. And we're pretty excited about it. So that was my experience. Yes, I was ready to eat chicken. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. There were days I wanted chicken. Yes. But we persevered and we pressed through. And we gained, I know I gained some deliverance, if you will, from my addictions. What we did realize is that we really did have a serious food addiction. And through this fasting, we were able to break the addiction so that we could make different decisions. And so that was my experience. How about yours?
Well, my experience was a little different. I just want to back up a little bit back to the book when Lamont came home and shared Jason Bell with me and watched the video. I was all excited. I'm like, yeah, we should do this, Leading up to that, we had been listening to the Juice Guru podcast. So he had me listening to those things. So I was getting educated on the whole juicing world even prior to Jason's video. So I was really like, okay, yeah, we need to do this. We need to get healthy and on a cellular level. So I was definitely all for it. Little did I know, he forgot to tell me he was actually listening to the Jesus Fast book. And I brought the hard copy because I'm more of a reader and I like to write in books, and he's on the road a lot, so he listened. It was easier for him to listen to it on audio. So I was a little like, I think day 1 or 2 into it, I'm like, okay, what did I just say yes to? But I just followed him. I think the biggest thing when I reflect back on this whole 28 day, from the beginning, it taught me to trust him and to follow and support him. And I think that was something new for me, being new, as most of you know, we're newly married. That was something new for me, so that was huge, and I felt good about it. Like I said, at the end of the 28 days, I reflected, and I'm like, wow, yeah, because I had my moments like, Lord, really, God, I'm not sure about this, but I did learn to follow. One day when I was having a moment, it was very early on again. I have this hanging in our room, and it says, pick me, squeeze me, stomp me, make me whine.
Lord.
Now I see this every day, every night before I go to bed, I see it. But that particular night, and it was like the day I think it was the second night we started. And I look, and it just screamed at me, it yelled at me, and I'm like, oh my God. Pick me, squeeze me, stomp me, make me whine. And we all know that fruit, when you think of fruit and grapes and all of that, that's wine, it's a type of wine, and so I was like, oh, just my flesh was just stomp, pick me, stomp, squeeze, stomp, everything. So I said, okay, and I really yielded to the process because it was not easy. Another thing for me, the Lord just started speaking to me early on, gave me the word about a new creation, old things passing away and a new, being a new creature and everything. So I felt the need to embrace, the word and this process here that doesn't feel good. But it was for my good, even though it didn't feel good. I did not like the preparation, because it's a lot of preparation when juicing. I enjoyed shopping. I honestly did. We went to the international market. I enjoyed seeing all the fruit and everything. I actually kind of enjoyed sometimes cutting up the fruit, because it was a lot, to do for 2 people. It was 8 jars a day to prepare. So I really did not like that part sometimes, because it can take up a lot of time at night. And, so that was not my favorite part of this process. But for the spiritual side, it was the things that I received, just the encouragement in my spirit and from the word and from God. It was all worth it. It was worth the process. And I think it's important, if anything, to allow the process, allow time for processing. It creates discipline, and it creates self-control. Also, like I said, I was struggling, and we actually got a chance to go away to Perusia Prayer House, which is in Maryland here. And that was my suggestion. I said, well, let's go down there and pray, and since we're on this fast, let's go and pray and just be before the Lord. And long story short, remember, I was having issues, and on this fast, if you're like really, really hungry, you just can't take it anymore. The only little fruit that we did eat was an avocado. That was the suggested fruit that you have, an avocado. Slice it up, put some lime, squeeze fresh lemon juice or lime juice on it with some pepper. Oh my God, it was like a whole meal. Oh my goodness. So we went to Perusia, and we packed our juices, and that was it. Well, when we got there, the host, we were talking to her about the fast, and she was like, I was in the supermarket, and I was going to purchase 2 avocados, but I didn't see why I needed them, so she wound up not getting them. And we told her, that we shared with her what I just shared, and she was like, oh wow, and I felt so like, oh my God, I'm like, God, you're really watching us. You see us on this fast. You see, you're really paying attention. That she had no idea that we were on this particular kind of fast. And I told her, she knew we were on a fast, but she didn't know the details of it. And for him to speak to her 45 minutes down the road, to get 2 avocados. Wow. So I was just blown away, like, okay, Lord, this is you, God, so that was big for me. And last but not least, I think what set the icing on the cake for me during this 28 day, because of course I work, and you have your coworkers that are watching you. And one day I was at work, and we had a conference coming up, and the secretary, she was saying how everybody had to get one word that described them. And I was like, well, I just said out loud, I said, what do you think? What's one word that you would describe me as? And she said, self-control. I said, wow. And those of you who know me, and you know my whole thing about the fruit of the Spirit, and that's what the Lord gave me. So self-control is the fruit of the Spirit, and for her to say that to me, and it's not like we see each other most of the time, but just in passing, we talk a little bit here and there. But she just blatantly said, when I self-control, I think you're self-controlled. And I was just floored, like, okay. And she's watching me on this fast as well. So it's just, for me, that was huge. And that's not a light thing. I don't take that lightly. For somebody to identify me like that was an honor. And I really, just, I don't know, touched me in a way that I'll never forget. And it'll help me to always remember that, about myself and what the word says about it. So those were some of the things that I experienced on this during the 28 days. Like I said, I did lose 10 pounds, and it was just overall good. You know, it was a good time of processing, a good time of discipline. It took a lot of patience in preparing. I did get hungry. I did have figments of imaginations of teriyaki. I would smell food that was not there. I would, we had actually went to a couple events with a whole lot of food. And I used to, at one point, it was like later on, like in the midway through the fast, I was just watching the people chew. And I was like, I said, this must be what heaven's like. They can't taste food, you're just looking at, remembering what it tastes like, So I had my moments like that with food, and just like I said, the preparation piece. But overall, I knew that it was good. The juices are really tasty. That's one thing. They're really tasty. So,
and filling.
And filling. They are. And, so it wasn't that I was starving. It was just like, you just want to chew. At some point you get tired of swallowing the juice and you want to chew. But like I said, those avocados, when it came, really got bad. The avocados were the saving grace. Yes. So that was my whole experience. Like I said, so I have these things listed here because I didn't want to forget. So, and to sum it up, I learned to follow my husband and trust him. I stepped into another dimension of being a new creation. I became new wine in a sense, and I've learned that I have self-control, and that others can see. So that's to pretty much sum up my experience. I didn't feel weak. I did exercise during the time. For me, I was getting to learn my body more. It helped me to be more in tune with my body. So I didn't feel weak. For those of you, I know a lot of people wanted to know that. But you don't feel weak. You are able to run. My husband, he was running during, his lunchtime as usual while juicing. So you do feel clear. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But it was some deeper things that happened for me that I really can appreciate. And just to keep it in short, those are the things that I just shared.
So some of the things we also, and she touched on, I know my energy was great and through the roof. I wasn't tired. I wasn't sluggish. I had energy. And for you married couples, beet juice. That's all I'm going to say. Brothers, beet juice. Beet juice. So it was awesome. I saw my running and my oxygen utilization was great. So yeah, juicing, Super Juice Week is coming your way.